Hello, I'm back. I'm streaming again because I only got through 2 of the characters and I would really like to get through at least 2 more. So, that's what I plan to do. So, we finished off with the last stream where Rainbow broke down because she heard that, like, Andromeda could never come back and was taken, basically. So, when that happened, I'm gonna finish with Rainbow first, because I haven't actually finished yet. There's a little more I want to explain. So, when Rainbow heard about this and started to break down, Bean, who did help Rainbow, at least for the start of it, Bean went and was like, I need to leave. I can't think of a solid reason to why that was needed, but for some reason or another that I will come up with eventually, Bean needed to go, needed to leave. So Bean did. And like, both Rainbow and Bean knew it'd probably be best if they just broke up. Because then they wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm taken. And then someone would be like, where are they? They could just say, no, I'm single. Thank you, though. So they decided to break up. It would be best for the both of them. And it was. Well, maybe not. But Bean left shortly after. Of course, Bean said goodbye, and the others apologized for... Hi again. I was just explaining. Yeah. But, yes, so I'm gonna summarize for you because you weren't here when I said it. I've only been live for like 2 minutes. But, basically, we're finishing off with Rainbow's part because I didn't get to do that. Basically, Bean helped around for a while, but then, for a reason I haven't come up with yet, they needed to leave, and Rainbow and Bean both decided it'd probably be best if they broke up, so that if someone asked, they would just say they were single, instead of trying to explain that they weren't single, but they could never meet their partner. So, yeah, Bean ended up leaving. Obviously said goodbyes and stuff. And the others apologized for them coming into such, like, horrible timing type thing, where Andromeda had only left like a couple weeks before, max. So, yeah, Bean ended up leaving. Rainbow was very depressed for a while. But eventually, Teardrop. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's fine. I'm happy to help. But, so Rainbow was very depressed for a while. And after a while, Teardrop had convinced Rainbow to actually leave their room, get, like, a parts and service checkup, that sort of thing. Just make sure they were okay. And eventually, they started to hang out like it was, like, how they always had. Except they didn't have Andromeda. So that really upset them. But there's nothing either of them could do. Alright, so that's where I'm going to end for Rainbow's thing. The first part was in the other live I did a bit ago. But now I guess I'm just going to... It's because Bean quit that I decided that they should leave. That's why it's giving you the vibe when Bean quit. But it's because I chose for it to happen. I chose for basically I can't think of a reason, because it was just because Bean quit that I was like, I don't want them to be consistently throughout the entire story, because they're not even here. They can't even see it. But I still want them to be in it, because they did play a part in my character. So that's why you think it's kind of like when Bean quit. I'm very sorry I had to put that in there, but I just, yeah, I couldn't. Anyway, so that's where I'm going to leave Rainbow's part for now. Like I was saying, the first part was in the first live I did. Thank you for saying it's fine, Galaxy. I wanted to make sure, at the very least, that it was okay with you, because we were all a trio. Anyway, so basically, yeah, the first part was in the stream I did a bit ago, earlier today, just kind of explaining lore, because some people might not have been here long enough to actually see the videos when they were coming out, and the end of it was not actually being, like, it hasn't been made yet, but I'm going to, so that's the premise that's gonna happen. Okay, so next, I think we do Teardrop. Unless you want a specific person other than Teardrop. I think it's fine, though, that I go with Teardrop. If any of you want anyone else, just comment on it and I'll do them. I should probably have explained who I was going to be doing. I did Andromeda in the first part. Oh, okay. But I did Andromeda in the first part, and I did most of Rainbows in the first part. And then I finished Rainbows. I'm going to do Teardrop now. But I'm also going to do the Kid Trio, which is... I'm either going to do Jaden, Uranus, or Star next, as those are my OCs, so I get to talk about the lore. Anyway, so for Teardrop was basically a replacement for Rainbow when they decided that their show wasn't going to work anymore for, like, they decided that the family dynamic wasn't going as well anymore for them. So they decided to make a different group. There'd be a father, a mother, an older sister, and a younger brother. And unfortunately, Teardrop was the older sister. But throughout the show, Teardrop eventually realized, you know, I don't actually, I'm actually not what I was intended to be, so, yeah. They were originally based off of, Sun's design. They were a Sun model. But they were like, yeah, no, I'm, like, not a girl, I'm a guy, actually. So that's how Teardrop was, and when they said that to their family, their mother threw a wine bottle, I think? Yeah, probably a better idea to go with a wine bottle. So their mother threw a wine glass at him. Luckily, it missed. Only a small shard, like, made a little cut on his forehead, but it wasn't enough to actually deal any damage. Yeah, I know. Teardrop has had a lot of sadness. But Teardrop's original name, before they changed it, I just kind of want to say this as just kind of what I think it should be, was, like, Teary. I think that's adorable. So, her original name was Teary. I should probably get feedback because I have no idea. I just came up with that. So if you have any better ideas for a more female version of Teardrop. I kind of always associated Drop with the guys and then Rise with the girls. But it's whatever. Anyway, so Teardrop basically had run away and was just living in, I don't know, like trash or something. I don't know where he was living for a bit, but he was living there. Eventually, though, he ended up Galaxy and Star ended up helping him. And then he met Rainbow as well, because he also had met Stardrop, and they started dating shortly after meeting because they knew they were in love. And one of the creators of the show that Teardrop was a part of basically made them a kid. But they were like, we're not gonna raise him how you raised Teardrop or Rainbow, but we will keep him. Or her, I don't know yet. Them, I guess. And that child was Uranus, so yes. Uranus is in fact Stardrop and Teardrop's child. So yeah, they have their little family. And then they met Andromeda, and everything was going great. I mean, there were obviously hiccups every now and again, but they weren't big, and they weren't that important. Until this is going to come up for most of them. Ooh, fun! I love drawing Galaxy Angst. I love it. I love just drawing angst or making angst. It's really fun. But anyway, so, but this is gonna come up a lot for quite a few of at least the main three who I'm talking about now and we're talking about last stream. It's gonna come up a lot, but, Teardrop and Rainbow walked in on Andromeda killing someone. Yay! So Rainbow went to attack Andromeda and did succeed, would most likely leave a scar in the end, but Teardrop knew it was wrong, and Andromeda probably didn't know what she was doing was wrong, so decided to hold Rainbow back and let Andromeda go, knowing that if they ran around long enough in the forest, they'd end up finding Galaxy with their weird house. I will not be leaving that house alone. Why do you have it? But, yeah, so, yeah, Teardrop knew that neither of them were in the right. Neither Andromeda nor Rainbow were in the right to do either of that. What do you mean you don't know, bro? What? Also, don't call me bro. That's weird. Galaxy, stop it. Are you saying you like your house? That's too bad. I hate it. It looks weird. It's a weird house. I don't hate it, but it's weird. Anyway. So Teardrop helped run things, was very upset that they couldn't hang out with Andromeda, but helped run things nonetheless, like always. And, yeah. Yes, I'm so rude, I know. And yes, I am aware you're joking. I feel like that's Yes, obvious. I'm giving you a pat. Pat, pat. Anyway. So, yeah. Just Teardrop helped run everything while everything was going on. But eventually apologized, even though they all knew that Teardrop had done nothing wrong. In the slightest. They helped a lot, actually, so that was nice, and Andromeda really appreciated it. But, yeah, apologized nonetheless, and were forgiven. So, yay! Friendship again. And then eventually, Rainbow apologized as well, and they got to hang out again, which I'm glad, and that is coming up a lot, I am aware. But, yeah, so they basically rekindled their friendship. Everything was going great. Rainbow eventually was like, I need to leave to figure stuff out, and left. But when Rainbow was gone, these beings who called themselves the astral bodies had come and decided, we need this person, Andromeda, for our something. Didn't explain what they needed Andromeda for. But Andromeda left nonetheless, and later told Teardrop they were never coming back and could never come back, and were forcefully taken to be an astral body. And Teardrop was so upset. They thought they had caused it. They thought it was their fault and blamed themselves so much. When Rainbow came back, and after they explained, she became depressed, and then Teardrop thought that was his fault as well. Because, yeah, I let Andromeda leave. That's my fault they left, and that's my fault that Rainbow's upset now. Yeah, it's really sad. I love angst, if you can't tell. But anyway, they thought it was their fault, and so they blamed themselves and tried to figure it out. And they kind of did. They figured out that if they worked more so on just worked on their daycare, the daycare that everyone loved, and put some order back into life, that stuff would get better. At least that's what he hoped, and he did succeed. He ended up getting Rainbow to come out of her room, get some maintenance checkups, and just properly take care of herself. And eventually got Rainbow to actually hang out and just talk and interact with everyone. And they ended up just hanging out like they used to. But Teardrop knew it wouldn't last forever, and knew that eventually Rainbow would get upset again over something reminding her of Andromeda. And he understood. He had gotten triggered multiple times with stuff that used to be Andromeda's. He decided to not throw it away, but put it in boxes, just in case. Man, that sure did come in handy. Anyway, we're gonna skip over that little cliffhanger bit. Ooh, yay, you're done with your art? You'll have to show me later. Or post about it later. So, yeah. We're gonna skip over the clear spoiler I just put in there. But yeah, things were going well. Thank you. I'm glad you'll show me it. Anyway, things were going well, and, well, they were semi-happy now. They were getting better, at very least. And then everything changed. Anyway, cliffhangers. I love them. Love them to death. And I also love angst. Anyway, the next two characters I forgot to mention when I was talking about the characters that I would be doing. I talked about them last stream, and that is Venus and Night Drop. So first, we're gonna go with Venus, because, yeah, why not? So basically, Venus was made after the Andromeda becoming an astral body thing, and Rainbow coming back and getting that explained. Rainbow was, in fact, very depressed when... Aw, thank you! Anyway, Rainbow was, in fact, very depressed when Venus had come and just became a new daycare attendant. Venus's design is their own, but is kind of based off of Sun's. So their model is kind of Sun's, but mainly their own. So, basically, how do I explain this? They came, and Rainbow was depressed, and they ended up becoming the light of the daycare in a way. They were happy, they were everything that Rainbow once was, and that really triggered a couple of people. But they would never comment on it, because that was just how Venus had been made, to be more childlike and that sort of thing. Oh my goodness, you have an OC named Venus too? She's a siren? Oh my gosh. I'm so jelly. I'm so jelly, gal. Anyway. But basically, Venus had triggered so many people because of that, but they would never comment on it because she didn't know. She was just doing what she was programmed to do. So they just tended to avoid her more so. She ended up hearing whispering around the building frequently. Ooh, please do show Venus off eventually, gal. Anyway. Anyway, so, she heard whispering around the building and didn't know where it had come from, but eventually she just ended up following it, and she saw this animatronic that just had a similar body in a way, like, had the similar daycare type body, like daycare attendant body type thing, but not a sun nor a moon design. She was completely her own. So she decided to talk to her. But she thought she had scared her because she had just frankly run away. So slowly but surely she ended up talking to this animatronic that she knew nothing of, but thought it was interesting that she was around, especially around where the whispers were. So she was intrigued, to say the least, and decided to talk to her. They talked for a long time, and she ended up knowing the person's name. Her name was Night Drop. And she had said that the whispers that Venus was hearing around were actually lost souls in need of guidance, and that's what she did. That was her job. That was Night Drop's job. Venus asked who had given her that job, that, like, prerogative, or however you pronounce it. Basically, whoever programmed her to do that, Nightdrop simply said, "I wasn't programmed, I made myself, and I decided it would be nice to do." Which confused Venus, to say the least, but she was okay with being confused. This animatronic was so intriguing to her, and she thought it was only fair that she kept her secrets. So, they ended up hanging out, and eventually, Venus had introduced everyone to Nightdrop. After Rainbow was not depressed anymore. So yeah, she showed everyone Nightdrop. Nightdrop was a little, anxious, to say the least, having never been in front of other animatronics or people in general, only being around the lost souls, who act very differently since they know they're dead and don't know what to do from there. So she was very confused, to say the least. But she was open, and yeah, everyone ended up getting along with her. At least that's what Venus thought, to say the least. But eventually, during the time when everyone was adjusting to the new member, Nightdrop, someone else came. Someone everyone seemed to know, but her. Nightdrop even seemed to know her. She wasn't sure why Nightdrop knew her, but it seemed that everyone knew her, except for Venus. Venus was very confused, to say the least, but decided, you know what, I'll make a good impression on this new person, since everyone seems to like them so much. The new person that Venus was talking about was Andromeda. Andromeda had been able to come back. She wouldn't be able to stay, like always. She wouldn't be able to be a daycare attendant. But she was allowed to hang around them whenever she was free. Like, didn't have duty, that sort of thing. Not free as in she was trapped there and locked there forever. Just to clarify. So, yeah, Andromeda's back, yeah. So, yeah, that happened. And Venus introduced herself to Andromeda. Andromeda looked at her, really confused, and was like, "Who's this?" Looking to, Rainbow and... Just looking to Rainbow and Teardrop, asking, "Who's this?" Despite Venus saying her name and introducing herself, Andromeda wanted confirmation from those around her. She was skeptical that it wasn't just some random loose star that only she could see, so she asked. And Teardrop and Rainbow explained that she had come shortly after Andromeda had left and Rainbow had come back. And Andromeda took their word for it and simply said, "Hi, I'm Andromeda. I used to work here, but I can't anymore. I'll hang around every once in a while whenever I can, though. It's nice to meet you." And they ended up becoming really close. Kind of like a mother and daughter type relationship. Hint, hint, wink, 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 nudge, nudge. I can't even say words right. Goodness. But they ended up hanging out and kind of having a nice mother-daughter moment in a way. It seemed Andromeda was weary. Huh? If Venus met Venus, that would be funny, to be honest. Yes, it would be very funny. We should totally do that. I'm doing that. I haven't seen your OC or the videos you posted because I'm live streaming right now. But after, I will see it and I will make a video where they meet each other. Okay? If you're okay with that. Anyway. Anyway, so, yes, we will be doing that now. Alright, it's a collab now. We're doing it. Anyway, so Venus didn't know why Andromeda was weary of Night Drop, but decided not to push it. Not wanting the relationship that she had always wanted right in her fingertips, leaving. She wanted it to stay. She has mommy issues. I've decided she has mommy issues. Anyway, so that's all for Venus's part for now. Yeah. Now we're gonna go on to Night Drop. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, Night Drop time. Yeah, so Night Drop. Your phone just died? Jeez, that sucks. Oh, your Galaxy 2. Did you hear what I was just talking about? Or did it die and then you, like, as quickly as you could came over? Or, like, what happened? Did you hear what I was saying, like, between your change? Alright, basically, I'll just summarize just in case. So, basically, we're just going on to Night Drop's point of view type thing, or just, like, what's going on with Night Drop, in a way. So, okay. But basically, I was just saying how we're switching from Venus's point of view, that sort of thing, to, Night Drop, and Venus didn't want her relationship she really wanted to get just dropped out of her fingers by asking about why Andromeda was so weary of Night Drop. I also said that Venus has has mommy issues, I've decided. Anyway, so now we're going on to Night Drops. What's going on with Night Drop? So Night Drop used to just follow around, not say anything, and just help the spirits that were around and hung around. Not only spirits, she watched the other animatronics of the daycare rather frequently. None of them really noticed her. Yeah, of course. Anyway, none of the other animatronics really noticed her. At least that's what she thought. Because apparently it appeared that Andromeda had noticed. But she didn't realize. But she was just helping souls around, and this one soul in particular stood out to her. A younger girl named Jaden. She had red hair, not orange, but red. And blue eyes? Yeah. I think it was blue that I made them. But blue eyes, we'll say. It is giving early Dazzle. Whoops. It's fine. I thought of this lore before Dazzle came into the picture. Joking. It doesn't really matter. But, so she found this one soul she really liked, Jaden. And she really wanted to help Jaden, but at first Jaden cooperated very well, very nicely. Was just very kind. Until she realized she was dead and that Night Drop was taking her basically to the afterlife. She got really upset at that point and just ran away, in a way. Not ran away, but like got really mad at Night Drop. Despite Night Drop only wanting to help her, and she ran away. Night Drop was obviously worried, but couldn't do anything about it. She had other souls to help. So she did help the other souls, as much as she could at least. And eventually, she found Jaden again, but Jaden seemed terrified. And she just cried. Jaden just cried and ran to Nightdrop and said, "I'm sorry for running away. It became a monster." Nightdrop wouldn't push on that part. Didn't want to overexert her. So she decided to let it be. Eventually, Jaden wouldn't leave her side. Visible or not, she would always be with Nightdrop. Or, yeah, around. Just around. I know, it's so sad. It's fine. I love angst. You know this. So she just always followed Nightdrop. And eventually, after Andromeda had left and Rainbow had returned, she had been watching the entire time and knew what had happened between everyone. Like, knew what had happened, why it was happening, in a way, knew. She wasn't She wasn't astral after all, so she knew things. And knew Andromeda was going to be picked sooner or later. She was surprised to see when another came and noticed her and had heard the whispers. This one had told her name was Venus and wanted her to introduce herself. She said, "My name is Nightdrop," but it was hard to understand. Her speaking, she wasn't very good at it because she would only talk to someone with her mind at this point, because all of the younger children and all of the souls, everything. It was just easier to talk with minds, so she hadn't really practiced her voice, especially since no one interacted with her anyway. So she did. She explained who she was, despite her voice being barely audible or understandable. But she explained who she was, just her name, nothing more, really, and just continued to talk with Venus for a while. She ended up starting to have a crush on Venus and started dating her later on. And then they introduced Nightdrop to everyone. She already knew everyone there, but properly being introduced to them would have, and it was, the better idea. And later, about a week or so, that's fun. Galaxy is also an ex-astral. No, it's fine. You can continue to yap about your OCs. It's okay. It's okay. This is just a lore stream that probably no one's gonna watch anyway. Anyway. So, basically, like a month or so, like a month and a week or something, sometime like that, had gone by, and Andromeda had come back. Yeah, of course, Galaxy, it's alright. But Andromeda had come back. To Nightdrop's surprise, she didn't realize she would come back after being told to become an astral. Normally, if they failed, they'd be killed or have all of their memories wiped. Even if they were a robot or a human before, their memories of that would even be wiped if they were an ex-astral. There were few who were exceptions to that, one of which Nightdrop knew other than herself was Galaxy, and didn't expect anyone else to really have that privilege. But then, after Andromeda explained that she had been allowed to come when she was off of duty or work, it made more sense. So, Nightdrop decided, I'll interact from afar with this one. They're dangerous and I don't know what they know. At least not anymore. But Andromeda, after being introduced to Venus, was promptly introduced to Nightdrop. To Nightdrop's dismay. Or displeasure. Without saying anything, they just stared at each other. For so long, just staring at each other. Really? Really, Galaxy? Crimson, please? Really? Really? Oh, whatever. Anyway. They just stared at each other. But over the course of what felt like years, they got to actually talk, and Nightdrop had explained that she had, yes, stalked them, but for reasons that were good. It's fine, Galaxy, it's fine. But Nightdrop explained that it was for reasons, and explained her reasoning that she needed to watch over the souls, and this take-care was basically just a pile of souls everywhere. Just a pile of souls. There were so many. So she watched everyone to make sure nothing like that had happened again. No one else really knew that Jaden was following Nightdrop, but it didn't really matter. It didn't matter if they knew or not. She was always there to, in her eyes, protect her, but more so just follow her around. Anyway, so yeah, Nightdrop just actually ended up interacting with Andromeda like normal people, normal animatronics. I don't know which to say, but whatever. They ended up having a normal relationship in a way. And then we're gonna get on to... what child should I do? I mean, I kind of already explained all of the children, except for Star. So we'll go with Star, because the others were already explained in a way throughout the other people's interactions? Yeah. So we're going on to Star now. My OC, not my friend. So Star is a very short animatronic with white and blue as their color theme. They have a more sun-like model, but much shorter and more on the chibi side. I'm sure at least, Galaxy, you've seen them. But they were created by the star using positive star energy, or just star power, basically. They are basically the star. After what everyone thought the star had been destroyed, but it had just taken on a new form. The form of a small robotic child. If you don't know what I'm getting at, it's kind of the meme where it's like, she exhausted her strength and her form became that of a small child. That was a meme for a while. Or a trend. But yeah, that's basically what Star is. So yeah, Star viewed Eclipse as his father in a way, because Eclipse had looked after him for so long. Eclipse knew that Star was actually the star, and the Astrals knew that Star was actually the star, but they didn't comment on it. They let the star live the life the star wanted. which was to live in the daycare, but as a normal animatronic, not an all-powerful item. So, Star was happy living the life they had. They had been introduced after everyone. Thank you for thinking that's adorable. Anyway, Star was just living how they wanted. After everyone thought the star had been destroyed, it decided, yeah, I'm just gonna become this small child thing. Only a few people will know what I actually am, or who I actually am. And then they just kind of popped into existence and said that Fazbear made them. And they just interacted like a normal little kid. There's not much lore for Star. I mean, they were sad when their father died multiple times. They also kept some star energy in Eclipse, but like, that's it, really. There's not much to Star. They're not a little angsty child. I mean, they are, but like, they're not. So that's all I have for Star. So yeah. Anyway, that was the lore stream. Yeah, I don't know what else to say here, but that was the lore stream. If you enjoyed, I guess let me know. I'll stream some other times eventually. And it'll most likely just be chilling and chatting more frequently than not. So I hope you enjoyed. I know, Galaxy, you were mainly the only person here. If Galaxy met Star, I think she would say, so like, I have your power thing, so I'm hurting you in any way. So, oh, that's adorable. Galaxy would absolutely ask if they were hurting them in any way. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna cry later because this was amazing. Bye.